Good afternoon and a pyar bhara namaskar to all the viewers from India and across the globe. On behalf of Sir Vikas Thakursi College of Home Science, SNDT Women's University, Mumbai, I, Ms. Himani Malhotra, Associate Professor from the Department of Resource Management, thank all the participants who have joined us today on Zoom and on Facebook to attend 2 days international webinar on global scenario of practices, perspectives, and sustainability in designing spaces. As a part of a tradition, we will commence our program by the university song. Elton, can we have the university song? Thank you.
संस्कृतास्ति पराशक्ति स्वर हमारा है संस्कृतास्ति पराशक्ति स्वर हमारा है विश्व है परिवार भारत घर हमारा है विश्व है परिवार भारत घर हमारा है हम नहीं है दीन कहता कौन हम अबला है सबल संस्कृति हमारी हम सभी सबला ज्योति से जगमग हुआ अंतर हमारा है विश्व है परिवार भारत घर हमारा है स्वप्न ठाकर सी हुआ साकार है इसमें महर्षि करवे तपस्या सार है इसमें हम दिशाएं और ये दिनकर हमारा है विश्व है परिवार भारत घर हमारा है संस्कृतास्ति पराशक्ति स्वर हमारा है विश्व है परिवार भारत घर हमारा है विश्व है परिवार भारत घर हमारा है
Sir Vithaldas Thakursi College of Home Science is a constituent college of SNDT Women's University. It is the first college to get autonomous status in the state of Maharashtra. The exemplary work in academics, research, and community outreach has enabled the college to maintain its autonomous status for the last 3 decades. According to the Education World 2020, it is the first rank autonomous college of home science in the city of Mumbai. Dr. Jagmeet Madan is the principal of the college and an expert in the area of foods, nutrition, and dietetics. Ms. Manjari Bhalerao, vice principal and associate professor, is from the Department of Resource Management. Our college is accredited by NAC and we have scored a A grade in the third cycle. The university's grant commission UGC has given the coveted honor as college with potential for excellence for 3 continuous phases. The total CPE grant is 3.25 crores. Our college is also the recipient of the prestigious RUSA 2 infrastructure grant of 2 crores given by Rashtriya Uchatar Shiksha Abhiyan, Government of India. These grants have helped us improve the physical and academic infrastructure. It has also enabled us to offer innovative academic programs. Under the aided programs, there are 5 departments and offer 7 specializations at the undergraduate level under the Faculty of Home Science. We have 7 specializations for BSc regular as well as for BSc honors program. The self-finance programs include 2 master's programs, which are the flagship programs of our college. They are MSc in Specialized Dietetics, M Design, Fashion Design under the Faculty of Interdisciplinary Studies. We also offer several certificate and diploma programs, value added programs with blended learning pattern and short term online courses. Please do visit our website www.spt.edu.in for future details. We have amongst us our principal, Dr. Jagmeet Madan, who inspires us and encourages us to brave challenges. We are highly appreciative of the leadership, encouragement, and extensive support provided by her. May I now request our principal, Dr. Jagmeet Madan, to kindly address the participants.
Okay, so can you stop sharing the screen, please? Yeah. Okay, so very good afternoon to everyone. And at the outset, let me welcome all the delegates who probably are the final year and the SY students of the department. And I think because this webinar is open uh, to students at large, so I'm sure there are very many who have interest in this area who have also joined. And I'm told that it is Facebook Live, so I think the benefit will go to a larger audience. What brings me a lot of pride is that today we are celebrating, our 25 years of autonomous status. This is our silver jubilee year of autonomous status, and what could be better that in this celebration, we invite our own alumni and celebrate their lives and like share their accolades, their achievement with the students who are a part of college now and are likely to be graduating and then pursuing their careers. So I think this is a very beautiful connect for all students to listen to their seniors, the alumni, and who have made a niche, made a place for themselves uh, in the globe. And I'm so delighted to meet Sushma Rao today. And she tells me she passed out in 2005. And I was telling her that I'm sure I've definitely taught you some nutrition, because no student in this college can go escape the training of nutrition. So we definitely teach you the basics so that you can apply it in your lives and make your life healthy and work towards your fitness. And in today's pandemic times, I think eating right and good lifestyle is the mandate of the day. And we just cannot escape it. We have to accept that that's of prime importance, right? So today, I think what I'm really very impressed is the area which you chose to like kind of deliberate through a seminar, and that's perspectives and sustainability in designing spaces. And I think with the new normal coming, everything, I think every field has got a new dimension. So whether it is fashion design, whether it is interior design or space design, so there's some element of innovation which has come in, and it is very, very, stimulating to hear our colleagues from international arena to address this topic, because that's where the conversation starts. That you're talking about the international education in space design, benefits and challenges. So I think you are basically kind of conversing with the students and telling them what are the opportunities, and how is the design valued in countries abroad. And I'm sure when you discuss this, the faculty and students here can relate to what you are talking, and they can be conversations. And today I think pandemic has come with a little with a lot of blessing, and in disguise, I would say, that today we are virtual. And because of the virtual connect, Sushma, we could connect with you You are sitting in Milan and we are sitting in Mumbai. Okay, and we are yet talking face to face. So what else could we have asked for? And I think I congratulate Ms. Chetna Raje, Imani, Uday, Gulnar, all the members, Prachi, all the members of the department to have come together and conceived these 2 days programs. And I think it is really mentally stimulating to hear perspectives. And what could be better than we hear from our own students who passed out, who probably went through this period of education with you all, and now they're working in a different environment in countries abroad. So they are the best people to tell us as to what they learned here and what they're learning there, and also give you a feedback that what is it that the value addition which we can do to our programs, and what's the learning they have to share. So I also extend a warm welcome to Sushma, to our alumni association. We are activating that association. Himani is here. These are all alumni who are on the screen today, and I think they will connect you besides the seminar to be a part of the alumni association. So that any gathering which we are doing, and even we can take your suggestion as to how, as an alumni, you would like to connect with the institution, and what kind of engagements we can do with our alumni, right? Even though they're sitting abroad. So I think with these few words, a big God bless to each one of you, and I'm really delighted to be a part of this. And thank you, Chetna, for inviting me.
Thank you, ma'am, for inaugurating the webinar and for your kind words.
Yeah. So I declare the webinar inaugurated. There is a virtual inauguration. Yes. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for making me a part of this 25th anniversary that you mentioned. Thank you for making me a part of this.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for being with us. Okay, please go ahead. Yeah.
Now, may I request Ms. Chetna Raje, the head of the department and associate professor in the Department of Resource Management, to introduce the department. Over to you, Chetna ma'am.
Hello, everyone, and I think that was very nice of our principal. She came in and she encouraged us. She's always been encouraging, and we take all that learning from her, all the dynamism that we see in her. We would like to emulate somewhere and take our institution and the department ahead. So I take this pleasure of introducing our department. This is Department of Resource Management, and it is one of the 5 major departments in the SUT College of Home Science. And we offer 2 specializations, starting with the Hospitality and Tourism Management, and a totally different one, that is Interior Design and Resource Management. We also have a certificate and a diploma courses in computerized interior space designing. That's a self-financing program. Yeah. Looking at the next slide, you will be able to see that we have hospitality and tourism. The whole idea is to prepare people with certain skills, and this is how we normally try to bring out the best in the students before they leave with their degrees in hand. Definitely we promise managerial competencies. There's a lot of service orientation with a lot of activities. Creative aptitude is developed with assignments, projects, and a lot of artwork that we do. Then there is technical proficiency in all the subjects which are having technical orientation, whether it is in hospitality or tourism management. Then definitely skill development is on. Product development is something new that we have taken up, and we would like to take it further on with some more specialization in that. Definitely another part of our design process is a scientific design approach. by which we teach students that it is not just art, design is not just art, but we would like to also integrate scientific principles when you come up with your solutions. Then personality enhancement, entrepreneurial ability, and now we're looking at a lot of research work integrated even in the students' courses, and therefore we can say it's increased research temperament. Ms. Parker. So a little brief about hospitality and tourism management. So the learning experiences, if you go to see, the picture is very live and very vocal here. So courses at a glance, I will not read out, but some of our good courses which I have introduced in the curriculum restructuring are food and beverage administration. Earlier we were more into accommodation. Now we have integrated food and beverage as well. Customer relationship management very much in. Then the faction of tourism, that is itinerary planning. We require travel operations, fare construction. All these are important courses which are very much the base for this particular specialization. Yes, Padu. So this is what we see. I'm not going to explain this slide. This is how hospitality works. Parul, thank you. Next one, please. And the career options are many. If you go to see hotel industry, food and beverage services, corporate, travel agencies, airlines, entrepreneurial ventures. So this is really a vast expanse of career choices that one can have with this particular specialization. Next one, please. Now we focus on the interior design and resource management, under which we are now hosting this webinar. This is other specialization. So our webinar comes under the banner of interior design and resource management. The courses at glance again here. You can see we are teaching advanced computer aided design. Visual merchandising, set design, industrial visit, product design and development. So this is all a part of the new curriculum that we're offering. Then you have, these are the things that you would like to do while you are in the process of learning. Creative, then you have architecture, interior works, visiting industries, learning traditional and contemporary arts. Yes, next one, please. And again, we have a lot of career choices here. You can be a freelance designer in an architect, or work with an architectural firm or an interior design firm. You can be an interior stylist, graphic designer, visualizer, visual merchandiser, concept developer, product and research design. All these are, you know, if you really take up each one of them, there is a lot to take up and progress here from. Yes, next one, please. So we also have an annual exhibition every year, which is a student-led activity. It's a 3-day program wherein all the works of the student are displayed. We have something, we have taken up upscaling in a big way, where we have used a lot of material which was from the college, discard from the college, and the students have turned out beautiful designs and beautiful furniture out of that. So you can see a few examples here. Yes, thank you, Paru. Next one, please. Now, that was about the department. This was not to talk about the department, just to showcase what our students have been learning and, you know, what we would like to share with everyone out there. And this is how we would like our students to grow with a lot of skills, a lot of competencies, a lot of proficiencies, and give them our best. Today's webinar, okay, is about majorly the global perspective in designing, where we're looking at sustainability as an important aspect. We are looking at COVID-19 as a very game changer for us, totally different, unexpected kind of environment today we're living in. We're facing the new normal, and therefore we need to understand the concept of sustainability even more. And we are actually learning sustenance through this particular period that we are passing through. And what we have decided for this particular webinar, the perspective has been that we wanted to collaborate with young minds across the globe. Okay, so fortunately we have our own alumnus, Ms. Sushma Rao. She's a qualified designer, and she's done a master's program, and I'm sure a lot will be told about her when she's introduced formally. We also have two architects from Canada, one from Canada and one from Italy, who have done progressive learning, and today they are successful, they are progressing in their fields, and the whole idea here is to get a fresh, young and a dynamic view on design as a whole. So this is a 2-day webinar. Today is the first session and tomorrow we go for the next one. With this, I will stop about the webinar and the department, and I'll hand it over to Prachi to introduce our speaker. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chetna ma'am. And hello, everyone. It is a great pleasure to welcome our own alumnus, Ms. Sushma Rao. Presently, she's an interior designer and an artist. She completed her bachelor's in interior designing in the year 2005. Further, in 2012, she successfully completed her MBA in project management from Sikkim Manipal University in Hyderabad. This was not the end of her learning aspiration. She further pursued her master's in interior designing from IED, that is in Milan, Italy. With respect to her working experience, we have a wonderful long list. To begin with, she started working as an intern in 2005 from DSP Design Private Limited, Mumbai. From 2005 till 2014, she worked as a junior and senior designer at Siraj and Renu Architects, Hyderabad. She also worked as a senior designer during the duration of 2014 in New Designer Web Private Limited for a small duration. After that, in 2015, she worked as a senior designer in DWP Interix Private Limited, Hyderabad. After completing her master's in Italy, she worked in GPE Informatica, Monza, Italy. Presently, Ms. Rao is working as a freelancer at Studio Rao since 2017. Working nationally as well as internationally, Ms. Rao have gained expertise in various design-related softwares. To mention some, AutoCAD, Photoshop, InDesign, SketchUp, 3D Max, V-Ray, etc. She also gained her fluency in Italian language along with English and Hindi. So, to sum up, Ms. Rao is a very confident, competent, and an imaginative designer, always looking for new challenges, personally as well as professionally. With this brief introduction, and on behalf of our SVT College of Home Science, I would like to invite Ms. Sushma Rao, our alumni of 2005 batch, to speak on the topic that is International Studies in Space Design, Benefits and Challenge. Over to you, Ms. Sushma Rao. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks, Prachi, for introducing me. I feel proud to be an ex-student of SVT College, and it has been a most memorable college life that I've had with amazing friends and amazing teachers all along the course. I must add, Bachelor's of Home Science proves to be quite useful in the long run because we learn so many different aspects about life in the entire course. Even though it sounds cliche, I must say this course empowers women for a brighter future. I'm going to share my screen now for the presentation. So here's what we're going to talk about. Before I talk about space design in Italy, I would like to talk about the benefits and challenges that one must be prepared with when opting to study or taking a job abroad. I suppose more than half the students present here aspire this at one point or the other. And it's always better to have a fair understanding about all the aspects that it's really going to influence. I'll do a quick glance on the DIY projects I did here in Italy followed by projects that I worked on in India, precisely in Hyderabad under various organizations. Let's look at the emotional aspect. The first time you go abroad, every single thing seems new. Even the air you breathe feels different. It's an absolute wow experience, discovering a whole new world, a whole new way of life. Having said that, you also undergo a major cultural shock because everything is different as to how they greet, how they eat, how they dress, altogether a different cultural behavior that you may or may not be used to back in your home country. Studying abroad really does broaden your horizons. Being in a foreign country and seeing how other cultures approach life makes you challenge your assumptions. It makes you see things from another point of view, which turns you into a more rounded and more open minded person. You get to learn new languages, cultures, ideologies. Well, on the other hand, you struggle to integrate. Due to language barriers, you're unable to express your difference in opinions, which can get frustrating at times. Moving abroad forces you to become a superhero. You tend to realize that you can do much more than what you thought you could. You become more independent and get the hang of managing your life without your family support. Studying away from home is itself tough, so you can imagine how much more harder it is being halfway around the world. Well, this is something that comes and goes, and you learn to deal with it eventually. Let's look at some of the academic aspects in terms of benefits and challenges. Scholastic plus practical learning with students with cross cultural backgrounds and one to one connection with professors gives you a complete package. You learn to work in groups, sharing different ideas, opinions, and dividing roles for project works. Studying abroad gives you an extra weightage on your CV and higher chances of being selected by employers, especially back in your home country. You get an opportunity to extend your social network across the world, which comes in handy along the way. Cost of living can add burden for your already high school fees, and you may have to take up odd jobs for that extra cash. And it's not necessary that you get a job on the first place because language can be a barrier to finding a job, even the odd jobs. You learn to work in groups, sharing different ideas, opinions, sorry, group work hardships. Group works can turn out extremely frustrating, especially when you cannot get along with the group. This is more difficult thanks to the cross cultural attitudes. Lack of language, strong and rigid cultural opinions can become hurdles to express your ideas. Risk in terms of bullyism, discrimination, and an overall safety could be a challenge that one should be prepared of. Well, the most common risk is to getting robbed and getting into bad company. It's even more challenging as you're away from home. Let's look at some of the professional aspects in terms of benefits and challenges. The standard of living in abroad is much better from your home country. Well, it depends where you move to. It definitely adds points on your CV and have more chances of higher pay in your home country. You get a fair understanding about the local market along with the do's and don'ts. You get to work in a more heterogeneous environment with cross-cultural ideologies and approaches. You get to learn new languages, try new cuisines, celebrate new festivals, and to be a part of their lifestyle. You may have a good standard of living, but the cost of living can get too challenging as you will have to manage your finances with limited resources and different taxation system. In Italy, nearly 45% of your income goes in taxes. You may have to start from the bottom of the ladder, irrespective of your prior experience in your home country. This can be quite frustrating because this means less salary for more work. Learning a new language can be very difficult, and without that, building PR can be time consuming, especially in countries where they don't speak much English. You have to learn their laws and regulations, adapt to their bureaucracy, and all this can get overwhelming, especially when you lack the language. In terms of designing the process, the practices, the path of designing a space is completely different from that of your home country. Learning the socio-cultural difference and environmental difference is time consuming. Colors, words, shapes, spaces, designing can be contradicting with your design principles. I give you a simple example. Swastik shape is considered religious in India, but the same shape represents fascism and it's really frowned upon. Red color for people may reflect color of love and passion, but it may reflect also blood and danger. Bidet is a must in a European house. Toilets are never planned attached to the rooms. In most of the houses, kitchens are the central point of the house and not living rooms. Designing, planning, and material selection should adhere also to the climatic conditions, and these aspects are different from our home country. Living in a foreign country can be challenging in your day to day life because you have to live with the contradicting lifestyles. For example, leaving your footwear outside house is the most natural thing to do as Indians, but it isn't the same everywhere. We mourn in white. Instead, here it's in black. You cannot wear a white shirt in a funeral. They get married in white and we instead any color but white. Apart that, we may miss out on celebrating all the traditional festivals of our home country in the same spirit. Well, in the end, one has to learn to strike a balance between the benefits and challenges in life and understand that one requires to balance continuously to enjoy the ride. I move on to my projects that I did in IED, and mostly they were group projects. So our first project was in Cascina Toretto with Mare Cultural Urbano. Cascina means farmhouse in Italy. In the olden times, it used to be a place where they would house the livestock like cows, sheep, horses, and farm tools. They would have dairy farm, little houses for the workers, and a common space for all. But now these rural buildings are placed between the new construction. Instead of demolishing these spaces, companies like Mare Cultural Urbano would take up these buildings to transform and renovate these spaces in an extremely limited budget to create a communal space for the society, keeping intact the heritage of the building. Our project was to create a large central light for a restaurant with the use of scrap metal, using power tools that none of us had any experience with. Well, this was our expectation with the power tools, but clearly this was the reality. Anyways, after a lot of trial and error, we came up with this. And I'm sharing a video for the first project. Our concept for the light was to resemble the moon that acts like the central focal point of the restaurant. The idea was to give the people the possibility of personalizing the light, showing different phases of the moon, connecting with different phases of the feelings. And to demonstrate this, we were lucky to find three little reviewers. And I'm going to share the video of them. In the end, Mare Cultural Urbano did a wonderful job with this beautiful Kashina and created this space where they hosted musical events, food hub, communal library, restaurants, and other recreational spaces. This was the first project and it was quite interesting for us. Our next project was with Unifarm, one of the largest pharmaceutical company that produced and did the logistics across Italy. Our project was to create a prototype pharmacy in four different sizes in four different locations in Italy, which included Trentino, Liguria, Veneto, and Sardinia. And this prototype was to promote their sister brand, Unilife, persuading the existing pharmacy owners to join the Unilife family. This project required a lot of research, and we had to survey many pharmacies to derive to a conclusion for initiating the planning. We surveyed from the most basic pharmacies to old antique type to boutique style and super modern pharmacies. Could you guess what kind of a space this is? Well, it was a bank named Intesa San Paula. We were particularly taken to this place to demonstrate that if the concept is right, even the most stereotyped designs, such as banks, could be changed drastically in modern design. The bank had a complete open system office where they included a large table in the entrance that served for co-working space. Anybody could walk in with their computer and work there, make small meetings, irrespective if they had a bank account there or not. This was something new and we wanted to try and incorporate in our project too. This is what we discovered on an average in most of the pharmacies. The shop window were unattractive and barely informative. The display of the products were very confusing as they were mixed with different category products. And there was no written communication to indicate categories. Pharmacists were placed at the end of the space where pharmacists became the focal point for any kind of information. People would leave the pharmacy happy only if their product was available. And at home, they would think of the pharmacy only when they got sick again. Whereas we wanted to propose this scenario where the shop window would be appealing, informative, and attract people to enter inside. Shelves would be neatly arranged with clear categories having proper verbal and non-verbal communication. Pharmacists would move in the center of the pharmacy where customer becomes the focal point where their needs could be addressed immediately. We would have touchscreen feedback system where people can connect to Unilife and give their useful suggestions and valuable reviews for the products. At home, they would share and influence others to become a part of Unilife family, thereby building a larger network. We had to change the philosophy of the pharmacy from cure to care. We had to make a place where people not only go to pharmacy to find a cure for their illness, but also to get aware in taking care of their health and becoming a social network and becoming a part of their own society. And this is how we reciprocated our design. We made a clean straight line design with modular furniture and wall shelves which could be easily adapted to any size of the pharmacy. Shop window would have had an interactive touch screen giving information about different locations of pharmacies, awareness related cure and care, and information related to how to become a part of the Unilife family. We created a help desk counter right in the front to direct the customers as per their needs. We made modular storage cabinets and a wall shelf display in clear categories with an additional screen to place advertisement videos. We made modular kiosk system to promote special products from the local market who were part of the Unilife family. Unilife family consisted of customers, specialized doctors, different brands and companies, and other different pharmacies which would become a network across Italy. Unilife members would not only receive discounts and promotions, but also get knowledge about different specialized doctors in their vicinity and awareness about new products. These modular kiosks could be placed together to create events of awareness and promotion. In fact, this prototype could have been adapted also in this COVID situation because the Unilife network would have acted as a medium to spread awareness, receive remote doctor consultation, track patients, control cases, and make preliminary tests if required. And this was a very different project that we did for Unifarm. Our next project was with Fonta North, known for the staircase system. This was a competition and the winner would get to display their staircase for BAU Trade Fair 2017 in Munich. We were asked to design a unique spiral staircase with easy industrial production. So as usual, we went on with the research and looked at different spiral staircase design. But we needed to design something unique. Modularity and minimalism is the need of the hour, and we wanted to design a staircase that was unique, modular, and space-saving. We took inspiration from different things. This is statue of Kafka in Prague. It was Franz Kafka's head, who was a German writer. The sculpture was designed by David Cherney. Another good example was this kinetic spiral sculptor that was designed by John Edmark. And this is how we concluded on the design. We created a dynamic staircase that could open and close, and we were achieving 90% of space saving. And this is how it would look. We worked out the complete engineering for the staircase to open and close smoothly using ball bearing system in the central pipe to reduce the strain and energy for moving the staircase. The facade of the staircase when closed gave different ways of personalization, making it unique. From material finishes to iconic wallpapers, from paintings and artworks from around the world to memories from life. And this is how it would look in an interior space. And this is how we presented to the company with a fully functional 3D model with catalogs and working drawings for production and construction. Another interesting project that we did for Fontanaut. Our last project was with Cartel. Working with Cartel was a huge thing because they were one of the biggest companies producing and selling plastic contemporary furniture. It was founded in 1949 by Giulio Castelli and Anna Castelli. So we had to learn 70 years of company history with a vast variety of products. We also had to study the demographic aspect as Cartel made products ranging from kids to elderly people, from household to lifestyle products, which was not an easy task. Cartel, right from the start, reached out their customers through traditional ways of communication, that is, books, catalogs, promotion, exhibitions, and flagship stores. And now they had taken a step forward to have a strong ongoing connection with people through social media and new trends of storytelling like art installations, new collaborations such as fashion and fragrances to become a part of people's lifestyle. Our project was to introduce a new medium of storytelling for brand awareness and promotion. Modularity and adaptability were key elements to suit to different contexts and audience. Flexibility and dynamic space with theatrical scenarios were needed to engage attention of different age groups. Performing products tend to create element of surprise and visual connection. And this is something that we wanted to incorporate in our project too. Smell connection also tends to leave a lasting memory of one's experience. And lastly, it needed to be mobile as it had to travel around the world. We were given 3 locations: Tokyo, London, and Miami. We had to research the space and design accordingly. And this was our idea. We took our compressed version of the museum, which was around 2.5 meters to 10 meters on a flatbed truck, which were transformed to expand into simple box structure from small to XL size. The central main box supported with two similar plugins that could be attached to the main pavilion or used as fragments to attract people to the main pavilion. Cartel had a strong visual connect with its bold color. In addition to that, we wanted our pavilion to adapt to different personalities of different site contexts. The play of transparency made visual contact even before entering. Transparency allowed a 360-degree panoramic view where pavilion became a part of the urban landscape. With additional skins, we could create strong contrast between the pavilion and the surroundings. And this is how we planned the layout. We made 4 segments of 2.5 meters to 10 meters, which could transform into different sizes. We made the central portion as our stage, where the entire exposition would take place. We made a truss structure that could harness products, projections, screens, and of course a dramatic play of lights. The 2 additional boxes were used for new arrivals and could be detached and placed in different strategic points to attract and direct audience towards the main pavilion. These are the cross sections in the daytime and nighttime. And this is how our transforming glass box, the Cartel Theatre, looked like in the end. We created a contrasting look and feel in Tokyo where we exhibited transparent or black and white products with a cloudy effect to slow down the pace of Tokyo. In this, we chose the location as Ginza Street, which has the most branded shops and it's the most busiest street. Whereas in London, we created an all red interiors to relate to its context and display people's compassion. And we chose the location as a landscape area just across the, the Big Ben and the London Eye. In Miami, we played with flamboyant product projections and dramatic light effects to showcase their lifestyle. And the location that we chose was near a beach. Well, after doing these projects, this was my synopsis. And even today, no, I'm sorry. This is how we presented to the company. This was the 3D model that we made. And this is how it looked when it was closed and can be easily transported on a truck. And it would expand to a full-size Cartel Theatre. And this was our final thesis project. Well, after doing these projects, this was my synopsis, and even today I try to abide with them. Get your hands dirty, learn by doing. Remember that old is not really old. There is always room for restoring and upcycling it. Giving back to the society is the social responsibility every person should inculcate. We need to design space where we can integrate people for the betterment of the society. Share the knowledge because it's the only way you can make space for more learning. Share your experience like I'm doing today, and I thank SVT College for that, truly. And remember, design has no limits, absolutely zero. You can get inspired from nature, people, or any other art form. I would like to share some of the DIY projects that I did in Italy. And This project is very special to me because this is the first project I did with my husband for a client, and it was a library for an advocate here in Italy. I would like to share the video of it. I also got my hands dirty with upcycling project. This trunk was nearly 40 years old and I reinforced the structure and created this pirate trunk. The look on my client's face was really priceless. Another project, an old cabinet again, and I made a makeover with this bird design. I called it the free bird cabinet. Another cabinet with a floral and fruit design, maybe ideal for a dining area. I also did graffiti projects for my clients. Basically, I learned to say yes for every job. I did this for a kid's room and he loved it. Well, these were few of my projects here in Italy, apart from the design consultancy that I do for clients and friends of my husband. In the end, I would I would only like to add that, and I want everybody to make a promise to themselves to move from their comfort zone. It's really important to move from your comfort zones, to take the courage for new adventures, and you will really be amazed to discover the world. One life is not enough to explore everything in the world, and I really encourage everybody to travel, to try new experiences. Now, I would like to just show a few of the selected projects that I did under various organizations. And I want to thank all my employers and colleagues to let me be a major part of these projects, both in designing and execution. A big thanks to my ex-boss, Reenu Hassan. I hope she's watching me right now. I worked for 7 years with her, and she was no less than a mother to me. And here it goes for all my professional projects. Well, those were my projects. And finally, I just want to say that follow all the regulations, stay safe, stay healthy. Grazie. Grazie is thank you in Italian. And I would like to end here.
Thank you very much, Ms. Rao, for the wonderful presentation. I would like anyone from the audience, if you have any questions to be asked to Ms. Rao, so we are open for the interaction. So anyone from the audience who would like to ask Ms. Rao, or you want to just share your views or ideas, so we are open for the interaction.
I'm sorry, but my camera is on the keyboard and it may look like I'm not looking at the screen, but if I have to look at the screen, I have to look up. So pardon me if I am not looking directly at you.
I think it is absolutely fine. I have no problem. Yes, any student or any of the participants, if you have anything to share, or you can just maybe share your views on how did you like Ms. Rao's projects and all. So any of our students who would like to share? Okay.
There's a question in the chat box here. Sushma, can you see it?
No, I cannot see.
So it's, have you done any commercial projects like using upcycling in DIY?
Commercial projects? No. I mean, the first project that we did was a commercial project because we were working for a restaurant there in the Kashina. But apart from that, I haven't really done as of yet. I hope to do it.
Okay, so on behalf of the audience, I would like to ask a small question. Like, because many of your DIYs were focusing on the upscaling and designing from the junk. So, what is the future about that? Like you mentioned, some of your DIYs, they were looking very wonderful. So, if some suggestions, because very recently we have integrated upscaling in our syllabus as well. So, what is the future of upscaling and designing from junk and sustainability?
Yeah, because upcycling an old furniture or any art piece is good because you are decreasing the waste and you are giving use to an existing product. You are restoring it in a way that is more appealing. So the wastage is definitely less, and obviously it becomes a part of sustainability in this way. So highly recommend upcycling projects because that reduces demand on products and less wastage, less recycling.
Okay, so like in India, still I think we have just recently started upscaling and started with these projects. But I guess internationally, the demand of upscaling and products have been taken since quite some time.
Yeah,
So
you see a lot of stores with very old furniture, and it's really amazing because also European culture is something that they like to restore the heritage. I mean, if you see Pompeii, it is from the Roman time, and they have managed to restore an entire city which was under the volcanic eruption. So that is something that they really appreciate. Seeing an upcycle project is something that they would really like people to do it on a larger scale. In fact, the Kashina Torretta that I showed previously, the restaurant and the entire recreational place was made with metal scraps. All the tables, the chairs were made with metal scraps. There was barely any budget for that project. So I mean, it's really nice. It's more nice to see projects like that.
Sushma, I have a question for you. When we were discussing prior to this whole webinar on, okay, our background discussion always has, you said something like in Italy, they teach you to think design first, or maybe open up your mind about design. There's nothing like very standard formula that you follow. So can you just elaborate on that?
Yeah. I mean, in Italy, they emphasize more on designing, thinking out of the box. Whereas I mean, it depends. In India, when I was working, I was more on a technical aspect as to how the construction would happen, how the layout would follow. But here it was more conceptual, and that is something that we need to do because when you design a concept, it is no more copying a project or anything like that, but it is creating a new idea, creating a new concept. Maybe this is like thinking out of the box. And this is something that I learned, that designing is not just making layouts, making presentations, but it's really making a different idea, giving a different idea to the society. And this approach is really nice in designing because it's never going to be same idea repeated. So this was really nice, and it was a real learning in IED Milan.
Uh, I don't know whether the students are shy to ask questions, but I have a lot of questions here. So it's almost like a viva happening, okay?
Yeah,
So
it does
Sushma,
feel
just
like that.
okay.
So I think there's one more question. Like, is there any website or YouTube channel where such DIYs and such upscaling projects are discussed? Is anywhere where students can find out the information about?
I mean, you will find plenty in Pinterest. In Pinterest, you will find an I mean, I have my website. It's called studiosrao.com, and you can see the projects that I did there. But apart from that, I think YouTube is 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 like a major source of any form of information. But also you can find a lot on Pinterest.
Yeah, Sushma, I think the question was whether you have a website so that they could visit your website and could be inspired for
Yeah. My website is www, and I think I've shared in the last slide of my presentation. It's called www.studiosrao.com.
Okay, so any other questions from any participants or delegates? I think we may also have many questions on Facebook Live, but maybe we are not able to see those questions. Um, so, ma'am, can we conclude the session now?
Just one query to Sushma before. So Sushma, before you really wind up here, I have a question as to what is a preparatory thing that one needs to do. Very briefly, you can tell us very briefly. If they really want to go abroad and do design studies, what is the bottom line thing that they need to keep in mind?
Okay. Well, you have to be prepared for staying away from family, and it's a bit of a task, but it's a amazing experience to study with different students coming from different backgrounds, and I really recommend that studying abroad can really change your way of life. It is really opening up your mind to different ideas, different design principles that probably you're not even aware of. And this is something that I think I recommend that every student should, at one point or the other, make this experience because it's worthwhile and it's really, really adds to your CV. And it really changes you as a person. So, highly recommend it. And how I got into IED was from, it's called Creative Universities, and it is placed in Pune. And I suppose They are affiliated with many of the European colleges here. So if anybody is interested, I can share maybe the website or some contact detail of this person. It was called Creative Universities that took care of European colleges.
So if we need some more information related to that, I'm sure Sushma can help us out
Yeah,
whenever.
sure. You can, I am there on my LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. So if anybody wants to connect through for information regarding studies abroad or regarding colleges, my opinions about the colleges, be free to connect with me.
Okay.
Sushma, just to add upon Chetna ma'am's question, are there scholarships also provided for the students?
Yes,
So,
okay, the one that I did, there wasn't scholarships for it because it was a very limited, it's a private institute. There were only like 20 students in a class because they wanted a one-to-one experience. Whereas other colleges like Politecnico di Milano, which the other webinar students that tomorrow they're going to do, they have scholarships. People, but obviously it's a procedure how to receive that scholarship. But they do have scholarships. Yes.
I think we are very much on time. So I would just like to thank you once again, Ms. Sushma Rao, from the entire SVT Parivar for such a wonderful session talking about various experiences, what you have gained throughout the journey, talking about the benefits, the challenges as a student, how they should pursue in case if they want to, study abroad. And I also feel that even for the other professionals and the designers, it would be like, a motivation for, going and, studying further and, always be in touch with the current scenario in design because it always keeps on changing. So thank you once again, Ms. Sushma Rao. And I would like to invite Ms. Gulnar Siddiqui ma'am to give the vote of thanks. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, good evening, everyone. On behalf of Resource Management Department of Sir Vittaldas College of Home Science, Autonomous, SNDT Women's University, Mumbai, I, is Gulnar Siddiqui, have the honor and privilege to express our deep gratitude and appreciation to all the resource persons involved in the webinar. A big salute to Ms. Sushma Rao, who is also an alumni of our college, for giving her valuable time and inputs and sharing her expertise on international studies in space design, their benefits and challenges. Sushma rightly said, design has no limits. My very special thanks to our ever encouraging principal, all the speakers, the participants who are present in this webinar, our technical team, especially Mr. Elton, the professors, teachers of Resource Management Department for the continuous efforts to make this international webinar a success globally. And before we end this event for the day, a gentle reminder to all the participants who are there in this webinar present right now to attend the second part of this webinar series tomorrow, that is 20th of November, 3:15 onwards. Looking forward to see you all tomorrow. Have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, just before we close, thank you, Gulnar. And a reminder to everybody, there's a feedback form, feedback link put on the chat box. Please fill up. We will be generating e-certificates against the feedback that you fill up. Sushma, I'm really proud of you. At the end of it all, I just really want to say I'm very proud. And I don't know whether it's been your first session or second session as a resource person anywhere, but It was a
Yes,
fabulous
ma'am.
job. Very nicely.
Ma'am, this was the first time, and I'm really thankful to you being able to connect with the college again. It's been a great honor for me.